Welcome to That's So Nova. My name is Nova. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, I can't me a word today. You know, they're just not. Thank you for coming back. This is the pattern we're going to do today is from Clutch Core Design called the Clutch. We're going to be doing this part of the Nova Wing special. This clutch has a really nice features. It has D-rings on both sides of the clutch. You have one zipper tab and a very clean finish of the zipper. When you open it up, you have a slip pocket in here too. The only modification I did different is I put a trim on mine. This bag can be more than a clutch. I made a small little strap and gave some tips and tricks, but you can actually make like it have a whole body crossbody strap or shoulder strap or chain. This has endless possibilities. It depends on what you want. It gets you to know this designer really well, and you can go from there. So without any further ado, here we go. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a free pattern from Clutch Couture Design, Jacqueline's pattern. She's a fabulous pattern maker, and she does have a free pattern called the Clutch, which is super cute, by the way. I always encourage people to, if there's like a designer that you really like, to see if they have a free pattern and to see if their designer love language meets with yours. Every designer has their own unique stance on everything, and this is how we learn, by, you know, changing it up. So I wanted to do, I've never done a video for the free pattern for Jacqueline's Clutch Couture Design. I do have bags that I have made for her, and I can link them in. I'll put a playlist up so that you can see them. Her patterns are really beautiful and stunning. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is a free pattern. The finish size is about 10 3/4 inches wide and 7 1/4 inch height wise. It's a beginner level. It also, she's really good about beginners and a mid or an advanced. No matter what you are, this pattern and any pattern per se is knowing your machine and what your machine can handle. So what we're going to need today for hardware, you're going to need 2 3/4 of an inch rings. I have mine here. We're going to need a zipper. If you're going to be making a strap, you might want to have your 3/4 inch strap there too. We need a 12 inch long zipper. I'm just making sure this is 12 inches. And it is 12-inch zipper and double-sided tape, of course. You know, that's our big one. So when your cut pieces, you're going to need your 2 strap connectors. This is my strap. I'm going to have to piece it together. I didn't have a long enough piece. And then this is my zipper tab. I'm going to do a little bit something different with the inside slip pocket. So this will be the trim for it. This is the inside slip pocket. This is waterproof canvas that I got from Fabrics Wholesale Direct. And that will be my lining. And this beautiful snake cork is from Sally Tomatoes. I'll put a link below. And if you purchase anything from Sally Tomatoes, whether it's hardware, patterns, or they have really nice cork selection and vinyl selection. And they do really well on domestic machines. They're beautiful. I have used code Nova, that's so Nova 10. You will get 10% off of your order. So let's get started. We need to use chalk or whatever to make sure we find our centers. So I'm going to use some chalk. And most likely I'm going to redo all the centers once. Ooh, these stopped flying. So I'm going to grab my 2 D-ring tags, and I'm going to grab some double-sided tape. And we're going to stitch the sides at 1/8 of an inch, and then slip our D-ring on it. You're going to fold the long ends on itself. And that's if your double-sided tape wants to remove. You could draw a center line if it helps. As long as they butt up, they'll be fine. I'm going to do a 1/8 of an inch top stitch on both sides. I'm using a 9014 needle. I'm using a Mon thread, 70 weight on the top and 40 weight on the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, grab your D-ring hardware, slide them through, make sure that it's like facing the right sides. Sometimes when they're so butt up close together that you don't know. All right, we have that. We're going to grab our 2 lining pieces and we're going to put a slip pocket on one of the lining pieces, and we're going to find our centers. And I'm just going to crease it, and then I'm going to draw a little chalk line. I should have used white instead of gray. Your choices, Shinova. I'm going to connect the line. Hopefully you can be able to see this a little bit better. What I'm going to do for the slip pocket is I'm going to take my slip pocket, put them right sides together, and I'm going to sew 3/8 of an inch, a half, 1/4 of an inch on both sides. Back stitch well in the beginning and end. And I'm on a 3.5 stitch length at this time. And then I'm going to snip into the little angle so I can poke this out. I'm going to turn it right sides out. Okay, so I love making my pockets kind of merge with the lining, and I know this is a busy snake print. You're like, Shinova, how is this person going to see their slip pocket? That's why I'm doing a trim that is the exterior so it can be noticeable to the eye. I am using a point turner to turn everything out. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip the trim to this. I'm going to have some overhang. That's fine. We always can cut it off. And I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch raw sides together. Back stitch the beginning and end. All right. And then what I'm going to do is why I see the little bit overhang, I'm going to cut that off. Then I'm going to take this and fold it over on itself. Now, if you want, this is a perfect opportunity to put some double-sided tape, because you can then top stitch without any worries that you didn't catch something and it covers up the previous row of stitches. My double-sided tape today does not want to come off, like, at all. It's one of those double-sided tape days. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to just cover up those previous row stitching. We're going to bring this over here to the front, and we're going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch on the trim. Back stitch 1 or 2 stitches just to secure and lock it in. One thing I love about cork, it's really domestic friendly. It doesn't get super thick, and it just it sews through like butter. See, we cut all the back, and this is the front, and we got a nice clean pocket in the front. So we're going to follow through with her directions, and we are going to, because we're going to have to leave a 3 to 4 inch opening to turn. So we want to make sure that the slip pocket is not on the opening side that we're going to turn. We're going to fold over the slip pocket, and we're going to have it 2 inches away from the top. Okay, so my handy dandy Westcott rulers are exactly 2 inches. I'm going to center this. And what you can do, you're going to be like, should I have a double-sided tape again? Really? You put double-sided tape on the bottom of your slip pocket on the back side, not the part that's going to be seen on the top. And once you found your centers, once you got that all lined up how you like it, then you can bring your hand down and press it down. Now we have something holding it in place exactly where it needs to be. We're going to go over to the machine, and we're going to top stitch this using a 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to show you how I do bar tack, so that way this pocket will not come off during time. You can do a rivet and just secure it back on the back with some deckle light or whatever. But this is what I do because I do it in garment sewing as well. I'm going to stitch onto my trim, and I'm going to stitch 1 stitch off and keep going. Right when I get in where the trim is off, I'm going to pivot my machine, and I'm going to go 1, 2 stitch, and then back 2. And make sure you my machine doesn't automatically go needle down. Make sure you're always in the needle down position. That's called a bar tack. Bar tacks help secure your pockets, and you can use them over and over again without it ripping off. The one thing I like about waterproof canvas is it is really sturdy and strong. Needle down. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go all the way up until the trim, and we're going to do our bar tack then. Stop right before you get to the trim. Go needle down. And we're going to go 1, 2, then back, 1, 2. You don't want to go so far in where you're like, hey, I can't get into the pocket. Now we're going to go on the trim, 1 stitch off of it, then go back. And now our pocket should be secure. All right. Trim those threads. This is pretty. Okay. So now we're going to grab our zipper. So I'm going to grab the pull and the zipper tab. We are going to put the zipper on first. So just kind of singe the ends of your zipper so that way it helps protect it. The zipper pull I'm using is from Zipper Valley. She has the most elegant zipper pulls ever. I love her zipper pulls. They're just so classy. Okay. And just have it go in the middle, and then I'm just going to do the same thing, get all those burrs. We're going to take your zipper tab and we're going to lay it over so you can close to the left. Okay, lay the zipper tape so the zipper closes to the left, fold over the zipper tab, and top stitch where the red line is. So let me just triple check to make sure I got that measurement right, because you know sometimes the zipper tab is 2 inches by 1 1/4. Hold on. 2 inches. It looked a little long there, Nova. We're just going to triple check. Zipper tab. And this happens a lot to me. So I'm just drawing, and we're doing 1 1/4. So I'm going to cut that excess off. There we go. Now we can continue on. All right. So we're going to make sure our zipper pull goes closer to the left. We're going to take this, fold it on itself, and then we're going to top stitch. We're going to top stitch. It looks like about 1/8 of an inch away. Got the back. All right. Then we're going to grab the main exterior pieces, and we're going to take one exterior piece and draw a small line for 3/4 of an inch away on both sides. Put a line of double-sided tape. I just had you. There you are. And we're going to lay the DSD down on the lines that we made. Now take your lining piece A and lay it right on top. We're going to grab some clips. it looks like we are going to curve up the zipper, the one that's going up, around the 3/4 of an inch line we marked. Okay. Raw edges. Now pull the zipper tape apart if you haven't already, and sew all 3 layers together. However, when you reach the mark you made at the 3/4 of an inch, stop with your needle, position the zipper pull and tape at a right angle so it could be continuous. So 1/4 of an inch. And I have it at a right angle, so we're gonna back stitch. And when you get to the zipper, just have your needle down and kind of just move it out of the way so that it all can line up nice and neat. All right. Clipping that off. Okay, it's looking pretty sharp. Let's keep it going. We're going to grab the back interior piece. We're going to top stitch across the exterior near the zipper where it's indicated. So we're separating the linings going up. The exterior is right here. We're going to top stitch it 1/8 of an inch. And what this is doing is all the seams are going down towards the exterior. I like when this is what they call like kind of like understitching a little bit, where it helps keep the bag that extra stitching, but that when you open in the inside you won't see any stitches. Okay, we have one side. And what I like to do right now is I like to take a clip or two and just hold down that lining connected to the exterior, so that way it doesn't get in your way when we repeat the same thing we just did on step 2. So we're going to draw our 3/4 of an inch on both sides with chalk. And we're going to double-sided tape. I almost already missed a step. Okay. Sorry, my phone's ringing. I'm going to just pull the zipper up. And then line the other piece together. And this part up here, the zipper needs to be pulled up just like the other one at an angle. I'm trying to pull this up at an angle so that way, similar to what we had on the other side. And grab a clip. I'm having a hard time clipping. That's just me. I'm sorry. So we're going to now sew this down at 1/4 of an inch, just like we did before. When you get to the zipper, move it if it's in your way so that your stitches don't look all wonky. And this one has like a long zipper pull, so I'm just... And I'm getting to the area where I have to pull my stitches up, and I'm just doing it. I'm just going to back stitch for good measure. Cut off the zipper. Trim the ends. Do the same thing on the other side. Pull all the seams going towards the exterior, and then we're going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch. All right, this is looking really nice, very sleek. So from here, we're going to go on to page 12. We did the top stitching. Now we're going to get this to prepare the side clips. We are, let's see. Let's see, I'm making sure I'm doing this right. All right, so we're going to prepare, we're going to lay one of the exterior pieces right side up. And then we want to make a mark 2 inches down from the zipper on each end. From the zipper. Inside the exterior pieces. And then half an inch needs to be out. So what I'm going to do is I'm marking the 1/2 inch, and then I'm just going to go over here to this exterior piece real quick and have that 1/2 inch hang out. And then I'm going to just base this down with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I'm big on basting hardware into place before we start doing the final construction, because I've had it where it just shifts and then I'm like, oh man, I could tell this is like off by 3/8 of an inch. And then I'm upset. Then I'm like, it's not a perfect bag. It's not a perfect bag. So you can just go ahead and measure the 1/2 inch out and just mark it. And then machine base. All right. All right, I'm going to open up the zipper because I feel like that's going to be coming next. And then we're going to be putting right sides together. We want to make sure we place the clips to meet the right seams. That's what I would definitely match up first. Always match up your seams so that they don't look wonky. Even if you have to redo it like 100 times, that my best advice to you is always match up your seams. And then we are going to leave, our seam allowance is going to be a 1/2 inch. We're going to leave a 5 to 6 opening on one at the bottom. So I'm going to just draw where I'm going to stop and start. 5 to 6 inch opening. And we're going to sew around this at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Use as many as clips or as few as you want. Take your time around the curves. Around and on the lining, you can go a little bit above, a little bit more than. Oh, that was the back stitch for good measure on a strap. You can go a little bit more than a 1/2 inch. When you get to the hardware, just make sure it's out of your way. And try not to pull anything, because cork can stretch just like vinyl does. And if you pull or tug, it can just... Have you ever had that where it looked a little warped? Okay, I'm just on this side, I'm going to redo it because there's a whole stitch that is just completely off. So I'm going to restitch that area. All right. I just wanted to restitch that area. I'm really bad. I am like, when I see a messed up curve, I want to replace it right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm snipping the threads. And I'm going to go into where the bottom seam where we can't snip, because we're going to close it off in there. And I'm kind of just making a V cut, like a slash diagonal cut around on the sides where we're going to about to open it. And I am going to peak all the rest except where the strap connectors are. I'm going to just trim around it, but not through it. Let's see. This didn't get any stitches. Hold on. That's so weird. It just totally skipped a stitch. And for the life of me, every time I find my hump jumper, I'm like, yeah, I'm putting it by my machine. And then it just disappears again in the ether I call my room. And I'm just going to pink. And then when I get to the area that has the tab, I'm going to just cut the bulk around the tab, but not the tab itself. It's just little extra precautions because having the tab there, in case you want to rivet, it helps out tremendously. I find the sound of pinking shears oddly relaxing. Okay, and then I'm going to snip around. grab all these trims. And then we're going to turn the bag inside out, to right sides out. Just grab a corner, and you have a nice size hole, so it shouldn't be too hard to birth. It just depends on the materials, like if your vinyl is like sticky and you know, all that great stuff. Every piece of cork is not the same. Every piece of vinyl is not the same. Waterproof canvas is not the same. It all can go a little thick or thinner. I'm just going to grab my my point turner and just go along that seam and point out anything that's trying to sink in. I'm just poking out, like just using my turn to make sure that the corners can be nice and sharp. If you do this with a sharp instrument, it can totally poke through your, fabric, and you don't want that. So I'm just going to let this lie before I close up, just to make sure everything is where I want it to be before I close it up. Oh, this is super cute. All right, so now we can close up. So we take the lining out. And before I close everything up, I'm going to take the lining and poke out the corners on here too, so that when I stick it back in there, it's all neat. And just making sure I poked out everything I could possibly poke out. All right. I think I got it all. All right. So I'm going to close off the pocket. I'm going to trim down this thread. And the reason why I do it like a V is it just, it folds in better to me on itself when I do this. I'm just going to fold it in, grab some clips. It'll be a nice place to actually put a tag too. I don't have any right beside me. I usually do, but this is a nice place to put like your, this is handmade or your shop's name. Okay, so we're gonna stitch this close on the bottom. What I like to do is I actually like to stitch the whole bottom, so it's not just like that little part. It can look like just a little bit more cohesive. So I start from the bottom top, back stitch a few stitches, and 1/8 of an inch all across. Sorry, I'm trying to poke out everything. Okay, and then we're gonna put this back in. All right, I'm just poking out all the corners towards the end. Oh, this is so cute. Okay, and then we are going to make a strap so that way you have a nice little strap that goes with it. So we're going to, these are 2 pieces of like, I think they're 9 inches each. What I didn't have it where it was continuous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one side, have it right sides touching each other. And hold on. I'm sorry, it's always a backwards L. What you're going to do is you're going to sew from this point to this point. And we're just going to make it continuous for our use. It's just like binding. So we're going to go a couple stitches. I do this a lot, especially if I have a strap and I don't have enough and I don't, it wastes, you just don't waste as much. So I'm going to put double-sided tape on this side. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Okay. And then I'm going to trim off this triangle. And I'm going to take the double-sided tape and finger press. And then I will be able to take this off. Except my double-sided tape does not want to work today. And I'm going to press this down. So you can make your strap however long you want it. You can make it where it's like a crossbody. That would be cute too. It's like can do is stitch 1/8 of an inch on both the sides just to reinforce that cut. The tape will help, but 1/8 of an inch on both sides and you'll be fine. And so if you want like a long strap, make it whatever width length that you want it. Okay. So I'm going to grab better double-sided tape because apparently this one is not the business. And I'm going to grab, this is just, there's so many ways you can make a strap. Do whatever method works the best for you. I'm going to sew this down with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, back stitching in the beginning and end. Sorry, I should have put a piece right here too. I'm just going to fold this on itself, leaving a 1/8 of an inch gap in between. So that way when I top stitch, it will collapse on in each other without having like a bulge on one end. Just 1/8 of an inch. I'm moving the strap connector, the swivel clasp as I'm doing this. I just like the way a continuous strap looks. Personally, everyone has like their own thing. For me, I like the way it looks. You can see it just is cute. So then I'm going to take some clips. And I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch down this open side. So okay. So now we're going to start sewing 1/8 of an inch, and you could just bring it over to your machine and move clips as you go. Back stitch in the beginning and end. I know Paul's just like chipped off like completely. I think it's a double-sided tape every time. And I'm just moving the swivel hook up as I'm going. And then I'm going to back stitch, and then I'm actually going to go across this seam. And then I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch down here. On the other side. My machine does not like double-sided tape. It likes to miss stitches when I do that, and it's not fun. That's why I usually glue everything, but it's kind of hard to do glue on YouTube because I have to wait for it to dry, and I'm not the best at editing. So you get what you get, and you roll with it. I'm going to sew this part up one more time because it missed a couple stitches, and I'm going to crease the stitch length. Okay. All right. Again, remove those. And man, I have a lot of threads. Okay. So from here, I will take this down where there's not a bazillion threads still to be trimmed. And I would use a hole punch because it's pretty thick. I mean, you could sew across it, but I would just put a rivet through it and center it. Grab a rivet. Get a rivet head. Then I would set my rivet with my press. And we're done. We got it. So you can make this a cute little clutch. There's 2 straps. You can make a long adjustable strap and make it a crossbody or a fanny pack or a hip bag where like it can go across your chest. Like, this is pretty cool. This is a really, really awesome, like super awesome, like easy, fast thing to do. You have a beautiful zipper. Inside, I have waterproof canvas, so we have a slip pocket, an additional slip pocket into this clutch. You have 2 D-rings, so you can use it as a handbag, or you can just, whatever clutch you want to use. Like if you want to have it this way because the zipper is facing you, or if you want it the other way, the world's your oyster. So we just finished the clutch and I really like it. I'm going to put a card in so you can see the other bags that I have made from Clutch and Couture Designs. This is a free pattern. I will put the link in on in the description. Definitely check her out. She makes some beautiful patterns and we learned a lot today. We had some fun. We have a nice like crisp zipper and it looks really nice. So I hope that you like it. If you can comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Share if you think the view, like if you thought this was worthy. I cannot talk today. Words are not my friends. And if you would like to support the channel in other ways, I do have a Ko-fi link inside the description box if you want to do that. But the biggest thing is liking and subscribing and commenting. It helps tremendously. And I really appreciate every person that's watching during this Halloween special. And I can't wait to see you in our next sew. Until then, happy sewing.